Woo! Buonasera. Buonasera. No capisco italiano. Ciao. Donne-moi un poulet. Chicken maintenant. Welcome in, welcome in. My name's Bald. I just went to Italy. How are you? Ciao, Baldo. What's bald in Italian? Did you try tiramisu, Bald? First of all, Christine's been saying tiramisu wrong for so long that I'm now confused myself how to say tiramisu right. I need Google. Play me the audio. How to pronounce tiramisu.
Buongiorno. We are looking at how to pronounce with the typical Italian pronunciation the name of this classic Italian dessert made and known all around the world. But do you know how to pronounce
Get to the point.
delicious tiramisu?
Tiramisu.
The name literally translates into
Tiramisu. That was a good remix. Skip to the recipe. She said Tivoli is weird. She said Tivoli weird. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about my trip to Italy through the lens of food. I'm just gonna talk to you about where we ate. I'll talk about the trip in general, but I'm using places we ate as my punctuation. I only end a sentence when we eat somewhere new. 10 out of 10 planning. Okay, first of all, I'm just gonna pat myself on the back because I planned most of this trip. Obviously, there were people helping out on the curling side of things so that we could watch the Canadian women's team curl. So thank you to the people who figured that out. But in terms of our trip, I overthink trips. I'm one of those people who probably spends more time planning a trip than enjoying it. I think it worked out. Now, we weren't in Italy very long, so the overview was flew out Sunday night, got to Milan Monday morning, left Milan on Wednesday to go to Cortina, which is where the Olympic curling was happening, and then we stayed in Cortina until the women's curling team was done curling, which turned out to be Saturday, and then we spent Sunday evening to first thing Tuesday morning in Venice. So that's the trip in a nutshell. I'm like that too. I get that, but it really helps with such a packed itinerary. Yeah, if anything, I packed a little bit too much into the very beginning of the trip. Like the first day, we just tried to do too much, and we were just cooked. But then by the time we were in Venice, it was nice to just be in Venice, and like we weren't worried about doing stuff. It was just fun to walk around the city. You didn't want to go to any authentic places where locals eat. Okay, this is... We'll get into this a little bit. I think when you're only in a place for a very short amount of time, I had a list of a few very notable places I wanted to eat at and check off. And a couple of them are like touristy or not necessarily where the locals eat. I get that. I did a little bit of that on the side that maybe Christine didn't talk about. But yeah, for this trip, I was more thinking, hey, I've got 20... If you Google, hey, I'm in Milan for 24 hours, where should I eat? It's not like, there's a little cafe I go to because they make a good breakfast I could eat 5 days a week. It's, here's a restaurant that's unlike anything you'll find in the world. That's kind of what I was going for. But yeah, it did turn out we didn't do as much just, eating comfort food, random non-touristy spots. We ate at a couple tourist traps by accident. I got served like a big warm glass of milk once because I ordered coffee wrong. So that was embarrassing. But it happens. It's part of the tourist experience. Michelin-starred restaurant. Yeah, so we ate at 2 very nice restaurants over the course of this 9-day trip. And that's not really something we do all the time. And it's not something I'd want to do all the time, really. Like, there are a couple pretty fancy restaurants in Ottawa. But I'm generally not a let's have a tasting menu kind of guy. I don't want 10 courses of a little tiny amount of food that takes 3 hours. I find it often ends up being too pretentious and not as much about the food. Sometimes 9 times out of 10, I just want to go into a restaurant where they're really good at making food and I can enjoy that food and not worry about anything else. I would have had the cup of milk. What's the cup of milk? Italy feels like one of those places to eat that kind of meal, though, for sure. Ottawa, maybe not as much. yeah, good point. Oh, the coffee milk. When you actually ordered our latte, you just ordered an espresso and added it. Happened to my friend. Yeah, what I did, I realized early on in the trip, what I really wanted to order was an espresso macchiato. Which is basically just a shot of espresso and just a very tiny amount of milk they pour into it. Like in Canada, I drink flat whites, which is kind of like a latte if you put half as much milk as you put in a latte in the cup. So when I went to some random coffee shop in Milan in a touristy area, I think I meant to order an espresso macchiato. And I think the only thing they had on the menu was a latte macchiato. Or either maybe it's possible I accidentally said latte macchiato. And this was like in the afternoon. Like, you're not even supposed to order a cappuccino after breakfast, But yeah, they literally just gave me, it was a big glass of milk with maybe a little bit of coffee in it. Isn't that a cortado? What's the difference between a cortado and a flat white? So a flat white has more milk than a cortado. Cortado's closer to espresso macchiato. Espresso macchiato has even less milk, I'd say, than a cortado. If a cortado is, your espresso plus a quarter cup of milk, a flat white's like your espresso plus a half a cup of milk. And then a latte is like espresso plus a cup of milk. Something like that. Boop, boop, boop. I was a barista, but I'm on 30 milligrams right now, so my brain is mashed potatoes. Yeah, you don't put mashed potatoes in coffee, but better luck next time. All right, Sunday afternoon, drive to Montreal, show up at the Montreal airport, have a couple beverages in the airport, get on a plane, try to sleep, wake up in Italy, wake up in Milan. Where do you think's the first place you go? If you woke up one day and you're in Italy, where's the first place you go? Maybe you need a little coffee. Where do you go? I don't think you're going to guess it. The first place you go is Starbucks. The first place we went in Milan was Starbucks. Now, this is... it's a bit of a landmark, and it's close to the touristy areas, and I wanted to go there to see what all the hype's about. But this is a kind of special Starbucks where they roast beans and they do like tours and coffee making classes. But if we get like the vibe, show me the vibe of this Starbucks. It's actually a pretty beautiful building. There's a few of them around. I think New York has one. Seattle has one. It's a Starbucks Reserve Roastery. Anyway, for me, it was just like a landmark we could get dropped off at. But when we went in there, the pastries actually looked very good. So I think Christine showed that I did get a pastry that I had to eat or they wouldn't let me in church. So yeah, what did I get? What did I get before church? I got one of these guys. Now, I still don't really know what it's called or what it says. It was just basically a giant cream puff. And it was excellent. It was very good. So we grabbed that big old cream puff. And just to give you a sense, so coffee is here. You walk like a block, walk by the KFC and the McDonald's Duomo. And you end up at the most famous landmark in Milan, which is just this giant church. Ugh, sorry, I'm still recovering from this trip. I got sick right at the end of the trip from traveling too much. So anyway, got our Starbucks and headed to the roof of this church. Hung out there. It was churchy. It was old. Anytime I'm in... I went to Italy when I was a teenager on a family trip. And the main thing I remember about being in these churches and cathedrals, and especially the Vatican, was just how opulent and excessive it was. And it's like you could say it's a testament to the human spirit, or you can be like, wow, the church spends a lot of money just to build monuments to itself. Catholics don't fuck around. Yeah. You're sick again. I have been sick so much this year. It's unbelievable. But this time I feel like I have a good reason, which is it really happened when I traveled across the country and back in one day to see a single hockey game, which it turned out Canada lost. But that was a long day. Seeing pictures of a massive church and Starbucks Reserve Roastery in the search bar is a trip. Okay, well, we'll get that out of there, because after just wandering around there a bit, we ended up at a place called Veramente for dinner. Now, first night, I wanted to go somewhere that Christine wouldn't have trouble eating. I wanted to maybe have something, maybe a little traditional Milanese food, but not too traditional. So this is a place where you could get Milanese food or just more generic Italian food. And I noticed they even had like vegetables on the menu, which isn't something you see in a ton of Italian restaurants. So we ended up at this place for dinner. Take me back. So here's dinner. Christine got some fish. Christine's friend got chicken. See, there's the vegetables I was talking about. And me, this is a very traditional Milanese dish. It is basically just a fried veal cutlet. And you know what? It was good. It was just a lot. It's just a big old veal cutlet. A little one note. Now, the tiramisu, pretty fantastic. Now, it's not ladyfingers inside, which confused me. I haven't really done my research since. I believe as the guy dropped it off, he made some reference to this being a more traditional recipe, although this looks like a pretty modern take. But anyway, it tasted more like coffee than any tiramisu I've ever had. And it was very delicious. Our topping, if I can call it that, was very custardy, eggy. Cake super moist and coffee-ish. It was delicious. No notes. 9 out of 10. Dinner was good. 8 out of 10. I would say we got a pasta appetizer that I'm not showing here that was probably better than our mains. So we had dinner, went to a random YouTube event back near the church again, which was pretty cool. And even though we were exhausted from having not slept, we also went to a women's hockey game that day. Now, part of the problem with the Olympics is they built this hockey stadium out here. Like, it's not even on Google. They built it. They didn't finish building it until maybe days before. I think they were still doing the finishing touches days leading up to the start of the Olympics. And it's out there. It's a good 20-minute drive. I didn't really do enough research on how to use public transportation, so we ended up taking Ubers quite a bit. Is this where the one where the ice is a few feet short? Yeah. So I think it was 3 feet shorter than a regulation NHL rink. Now, it turns out they built a pretty nice building here. Like it worked out. Like, there's clearly some seats they jammed in last minute that feel way too close together and like temporary seating. But, at the end of the day, they built a building. My big complaint with it was very confusing getting there. And not only confused, so Uber was a partner of the Olympics, like an official, the official ride share of the Olympics, like an Uber. So when I call an Uber and say, hey, can you get us to this hockey game? First of all, the guy doesn't really speak English, which is okay. We're in Italy. I'm communicating with him through like Google Translate. But he drives us around. We end up somehow like below the stadium at a security checkpoint. And these guys are talking in Italian, and I'm trying to use like a Google Translate app. And the guy's basically being told, this is the entrance for media and like the hockey teams. You can't come here. This is not the drop-off. There was a designated Uber drop-off for the hockey rink in this neighborhood above the hockey rink, where you still had to walk like 10 minutes. So anyway, this guy starts taking us around. He like kind of drives in a circle, and he's over here, and he's just complaining to me in Italian. And I can understand that he's not happy, but he's still driving us. And then he pulls over and he goes, okay, you're here. And we're like, we don't see the stadium. And he goes, and he's like gesturing that it's just in this direction. So he pulls the car over. We get out of the car. We're somewhere in like some industrial part of town somewhere here, like 30 minutes away from the hockey rink. This guy was just like, I don't give a shit. We're dropping off these tourists. I've had enough of this. He was not a Nintendo fan. So we literally called another car just to got dropped off at the correct drop-off location. He couldn't find the Olympics. Keep in mind, this is where we got there. The Olympics had been happening for a week. He was probably pissed knowing the next 10 days was going to be like that. I'm sorry. It should not have been hard to know where to drop us off for this building. It was pretty bad. It was a rough ending to the night. We get there. We were very late for the game. And then we went home and fell asleep. Day 1 in Italy. Let's go. Okay, next day. Next day was a shopping day for Christine, and Ben explores Milan day for Ben. If I can speak about myself in the third person. So Christine went shopping. I saw another hockey game. I saw Germany against France because I wanted to see Tim Stützle, one of my favorite players on the Ottawa Senators. And then I had a sandwich shop I really wanted to go to. So I went to this sandwich shop called al antico veneo, and I took pictures. Here's them making my sandwich. This is easily a top 5 sandwich I've ever had in my life. So it's like on focaccia, delicious bread. What I got was I think it was the Diablo. So it was a spicy red pepper spread, spicy eggplant, and porchetta was the meat. I think I got the guy. This is the guy grabbing my meat. Hey-o. Where's the finished product? So this is the place. Look at that. That's a sandwich. This might be the favorite thing. This is up there as one of the best things I ate on this trip, easily. This was a fantastic sandwich. Just wait until you go to Florence for their sandwiches. So I'm aware, I think this place has locations across Italy, so I think some people will say, oh, this is a bit of a chain, you can find better. I believe you, that's probably true. This is still like a 9 out of 10 sandwich. Very good. I should pull up the menu. So, what was it? Al antico veneo? Al antico veneo. Here, let's get the menu. See if we can make sense of it. Here it is. This is the menu. Is that what maybe I got the Inferno. Yeah, I think I got the Inferno. Porchetta, crema di induja. I guess that's eggplant. Rucola? I don't know. Anyway, it was delicious. I came back another day and got the Italiana, which was also very good, but not as good as the Inferno. But yeah, this place was great. Would recommend. Here, let's see other people's... There's a bit of a line to get there. What a spot. You'll notice I skipped breakfast because breakfast is just like... I don't know, do you want a coffee and a pastry? The main thing I was worried about for Christine was how there's like not really breakfast culture there. Or not breakfast in the way that Christine recognizes or observes breakfast. So I think, yeah, I feel like we often just skipped breakfast. Like we had protein bars and stuff. They didn't have microwaved eggs for her. But she was a trooper. Christine did great on this trip. I'm confident we could travel again. My biggest fear was her having a terrible experience and then like just not being up for traveling anymore. Best breakfast was Venice Buffet Hotel. I missed that. I wasn't feeling well, so I just took a nap. And by took a nap, I mean I just stayed in bed in the morning. She's not in for something new? No, Chandri. We don't like any new experiences. But no, it's like, I don't know. If for breakfast we could find like cold cuts or something, that's fine. But it's like, we're not gonna just eat a bunch of dessert for breakfast, was kind of like the feeling, I think. Italian food will convince anyone. I knew it. They should work on their breakfast. I mean, Milan's a big enough, cosmopolitan modern city that if we had really wanted to look for breakfast food, we could have looked for breakfast food. I think we often just skipped breakfast. Focused on lunch and dinner. It's interesting when you travel seeing how, food is such a ritual of everyday life we kind of take for granted. And I guess this is true of a lot of Europe, but it is interesting to see how food, customs, and the sort of schedule of when you eat and how much you eat and how much that changes in different places in the world. So, like, it's normal here for, like, a lot of places for dinner don't even open until 7 or 8 p.m. So it's like late dinners. Breakfast isn't really important. I don't really know if people do big lunches or not. I didn't really get that impression. But everyone seems kind of happy and healthy and relaxed. So, I don't know. Maybe they figured something out. Yeah, we don't really do breakfast in Southern Europe, just some toast and coffee. I'm a bread person, so breakfast in Europe is always a dream come true. I love bread, but if I just only eat bread, I feel sluggish. I need some sort of protein to feel like it's a meal and not a treat. Anyways, what else? So, this is the day we went to the fancy restaurant for dinner and then the club. So why don't I show you? We ended up, we had some drinks at the Armani Hotel. We went for aperitivo, which turns out they just started like serving us food as we were ordering very expensive cocktails. But ultimately, what I had found is on lists of some of the best restaurants in the world, or like I'm in Milan for one day, where do I go for dinner? This place kept coming up. Seta I think it's in the Mandarin Hotel. Really beautiful spot. Yeah, we ate a lot of this food. Maybe I just get you the menu. Is that readable? Wonder if that's current. No. Anyway, I know Christine talked about this place at length. I will too. Got some drinks, lighting, incredible. Negroni, great. Frozen orange peel in the ice cube, let's go. They amused my bouche. They came out with some bouche amusements. Like, I don't even know how to describe this food to you. This bread, Oprah would be proud. This is the only bread I wanted to eat on this trip, with my little butter cone. It was actually, the bread was so good, it's hard to describe. Very good bread. This is a scallop appetizer, blue lobster. I don't even know what I was eating. It was delicious. Lots of black truffle. My only complaint is that so we did the, normally you do a tasting menu at a place like this, but they're very accommodating and they just want you to have a good time. They're very willing to let you pick a few items a la carte, and they would help you decide what makes sense to order and what goes with what. Some of the little like pre-menu like amuse-bouche items were like incredible. 10 out of 10. The first couple courses we got were incredible, like 8 or 9 out of 10. My main dish of this I think milk poached turbo with black truffle was kind of meh. I hate to say it. It was just okay. But so much else was so fantastic that it didn't really take away from the night. And the main thing about a place like this, I think this is what you'll hear about, like the difference between a fancy restaurant and a fancy restaurant that gets Michelin stars, especially multiple. It's not necessarily about the food at that point. It's how much they curate an experience of dining with them. So, like, they gave us, all three of us, they gave us individual wine pairings with the dish that were like so good and so obviously appropriate. Just the sort of dance at the table, the presentation of everything, how it's served. Yeah, just everything about it just feel like so much care and attention goes into it. Yeah, I know everyone's probably thinking of the TV show The Bear as the way most people sort of understand this sort of level of service. And yeah, it did sort of remind me of that. Very personalized. You know, when Christine at the end of dinner says, oh, I feel like maybe we want limoncello, and the guy, like, I know he's thinking like, that is such a terrible drink, I shouldn't let you order that, but they make it work and they go get some limoncello from the restaurant bar. You know what I mean? Like, you are correct. It was very good. What an experience. Now, I wouldn't want to do this all the time, but it was pretty incredible. Definitely a bucket list, once in a lifetime kind of thing. I was very full and content. I'm glad we went out dancing after this. I needed to dance away the feeling of being this full. So fancy, it's intimidating. But that's the thing. You would think it's intimidating, but they're so attentive to your needs and helping you. Like, it was not intimidating at all, ultimately. So that was pretty cool. One surprise was, like, we ordered dessert, but then they just kept showing up with, like, more treats. Here's chocolate, here's random fried pastries, here's a random selection of chocolates, and it's just like, oh my god. Like, we only had 3 courses plus dessert, when normally the tasting menu, I think, is 5 courses plus dessert. And I was so full after those 3 courses. So we needed to dance. Got up the next day and went to Cortina. Now, Cortina, beautiful place in the mountains. Let me take you there. Cortina was like a 2-hour train ride east of Milan. So you take the train. Where's Milan? Milan's here. Get on a high-speed train, 2 hours, 15 minutes. Get off just outside of Venice, where not a lot of people live in Venice. People live in the city outside of Venice, Mestre. And then we arranged a car service to drive us another 2 hours north to Cortina. Now, I think Christine spilled the beans, but I spilled my guts on the way up there. You know what's funny? I've never gotten car sick before, so I didn't even really know what that meant. I guess I'm not an idiot. I understand some people get sick in cars. I don't know if it's just like it was a rough travel day, didn't really eat much, but I was in the back of the car and the girls were in the front. And I was kind of half lying down and I was looking at my phone, and just like halfway there, all of a sudden I was just like, I really do not feel good. And we're winding through these mountain roads. And we were at like a little more than an hour in, I'm like, hey, can I just step out for a sec just to get some air? And like Christine's looking at me and she's like, you don't look too good. So we get some air and I'm like, okay, that helped. Let me sit in the front of the car. I'll be okay. So we keep driving. We get all the way. We're maybe like 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops from our final destination. And I look over the driver, I'm like, I need to get out of this car. And he pulls over, and I just start throwing up everywhere. It was pretty, it was not like I didn't have much food. So I was surprised I had anything to throw up, you know what I mean? I guess I was kind of throwing up the Michelin restaurant food from the night before. So yeah, this was a rough start to our shift to Cortina. We stayed in an Airbnb up in the mountains here, which was kind of cool, although it made for I think the word is we were mountain goats on this trip. We were walking up and down hill quite a lot. And Cortina's a beautiful place. Like you're surrounded by mountains on all sides. You're in this cute ski town. What's something nice I could say about Cortina? I think we were here for the curling. We weren't here to be tourists or go skiing or anything like that. We ended up just eating a lot of pizza here. So, like, where did we go in Cortina? Here's a story. Our first lunch in Cortina, this was my lunch. Big old pizza. They don't cut it for you. That's your job. You can cut the pizza. Now, Christine at this place had a salad on the menu, and they also had a dish that just said chicken breast and French fries. Funny story about this place, as a quick tangent. They also had a pizza called the Pizza Americano, which is a pizza with hot dogs and French fries on it, which I did not order. This is I think, maybe Diavolo. Anyway, just spicy salami on pizza. So Christine trying to do her thing. She orders. I don't think we have a picture of what she had. See, there's a lot of pizza in Cortina. We ate a lot of pizza in Cortina, with the exception of the one really nice dinner we had. So on the menu, there's salads, and yeah, chicken breast with French fries. And she goes to the waiter. Could I order the salad? But then could I also order that chicken breast and you could just put it on the salad? And me and another guy at the table are like, oh no, not in Italy. Don't do it. We had talked about this before leaving. You do not, that's not what happened. Okay, you can correct me. But we did talk about, before going to Italy, we talked about how you don't ask for modifications. Oh, I said, can I order the salad and the chicken? And he said, no. Yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah, no, I remember. Christine basically asked to order both the dishes. And the guy's like, those are two dishes. Like, no, don't do that. So then she asked if she could just get the chicken. Didn't you ask for it on the salad, though? Anyway, even that seemed... Yeah, the guy was just like, well, I'm not willing to change anything here. I think ultimately, yeah, did he not bring you the chicken without the French fries? Let her eat. Anyway, I guess that worked out for you. This was like the only story of Christine being difficult ordering food anywhere. He gave me the chicken and a side salad. Oh, and he was wrong. He should have given you the full salad with chicken. Yeah, which is way too small. You should have had the full size salad. Yeah, he thinks he knows better. But what else? There's one other time something weird happened. Christina, she ordered a fish dish in Venice that it came with a bunch of vegetables, and there was a really good, nice balsamic vinegar at the table, so she just wanted to put some balsamic vinegar on her plate to, like, have with the vegetables. And a waiter saw her reach for the balsamic vinegar and go to put it on her plate, and he ran over to tell her that's not what it was for. I didn't even think... The whole dipping bread in olive oil and balsamic, I thought that was a very touristy thing like we think of in Italy and not really something Italians do. Am I wrong about that? I feel like I need a fact check here. Do Italians dip bread in olive oil and balsamic Or is that for tourists? It's primarily an Italian-American tourist-driven custom, not a traditional practice in Italy. That's what I thought. But it was being offered at quite a few places we went. Christine, I think you did just go ahead and put that balsamic on the vegetables anyway. Good for you. What time is it? 7:15? I want to watch Eyes Wide Shut tonight for a reason I'll explain in a second. So anyway, Cortina. I ate a lot of pizza in Cortina. And you know what? We found one really good pizza place in Cortina that I was happy with. Although I think later on in Venice, we mentioned that we had good pizza in Cortina. And they were like, no, you didn't. So, I don't know. Can I just say, this is a... Maybe I'm... We ate very well in Italy. Was happy with the food, happy with the pizza. You can get really good pizza in North America. You know, there's good pizza places here in Ottawa, Canada. Population 1.3 million, not that many Italians. Pizza is a great food. It's easy for pizza to be very good, in my opinion. Pizza is maybe never really more than a 9 out of 10. Like, pizza just can't reach that point of being like the best food. And I just feel like you can get excellent pizza here. It's not like the pizza in Italy was so much better than North American pizza. I thought it was pretty comparable. You know, we figured out pizza. There's not some secret they have in Italy that makes their pizza better. I think just even bad pizza places there are better than bad pizza places here. The espresso martini was so much better in Italy. I think just the... I got something in my throat. The quality of the coffee, I think it's just the floor of everything is better. Like, a bad coffee in Italy is still a pretty good coffee. A bad slice of pizza in Italy is probably better than most pizza places in your town in North America. But you can still get a really good slice of pizza in most major North American cities. That's very good. And there's not some secret that makes pizza much better somewhere else. So in Cortina, it just so happened that there's at least one very excellent restaurant that was actually close to where we were staying. So I went ahead and made arrangements for a few of us to go there. I want to say this was the Thursday night? I've lost track of my itinerary at this point. But here's how they amused our bouche. They gave us these little burgers, these little quiche cream things, I guess. Had a bread service. They brought a big old tray of bread and said you could pick one or pick all of them. Our one buddy there, he I guess doesn't go to very nice restaurants that often, so he's just like, I'm gonna have every bread. I'm like, part of the experience is like, you don't have to do that. He's like, I'm gonna get my money's worth here. Anyway, this is a signature dish, cold spaghetti with, I think, lobster. This was like lamb served 4 or 5 different ways. Not lamb. What was it? Maybe it was lamb. This is pigeon. So they go to the local town square and catch a pigeon and then cook it up for you. I had the beef cheek. Delicious. I want to pull up the actual website or menu of this place so I can tell you what we actually ate. Tivoli, Cortina. He ate the bird. Alright, give me a menu. Restaurant, our kitchen. Chef came to say hello. That was a nice touch. Where's the menu? Discover the menu. Show me the menu. So here, cover page. Cold spaghetti with caviar. So Tivoli Classics. Yeah, cold spaghetti with raw fish tartare. And you could add caviar to it. Maybe the best dish I had this whole trip was the ravioli stuffed with rabbit. I had that as my first course. Amazing. And yeah, pigeon. You saw that a second ago. Pigeon breast leg confit style. Now, pigeon doesn't actually mean pigeon. It's just like a small gamey bird. So you don't freak out here. And what else? Where was mine? Was it beef? Yeah, braised beef cheek. Made in Italy. Let's go. I think we didn't have room for dessert here. I feel like that just didn't happen. Anyway, this place is great. This place was more... The food was a little bit more like comfort food than a place like Seta. So I dug that. So anyway, we got to see the women's team win a bronze medal, which we were very happy about. They really deserved it. Especially Rachel, you know, I was very happy that she got to leave Italy with some hardware. They had a bit of a tough week, definitely a tough start to the tournament. And it was really a gutsy performance to turn it around and leave Italy with an Olympic medal. What an achievement. Where was our cabin? It was somewhere in the hills here. And Tivoli is here. Oh, Canada. So, with the curling finish Saturday, all of a sudden, Sunday became a day to travel. The idea was to go to Venice that day. I managed to get my hands on a ticket to the men's gold medal hockey game. So after a night of celebrating the ladies winning a bronze medal, I woke up at like 6 a.m, took probably the most expensive Uber I'll ever take in my life, 2 hours to Venice, got on a train, ended up back in Milan, found my way to the stadium, watched the Canada-US hockey game at 2 p.m., which Canada lost tragically in overtime. Struggled to leave the arena. I had to take public transportation, had no idea where I was going. Somehow ended up back near the Duomo. Needed to get to the train station, but also needed to eat something. Went back to the sandwich place, grabbed a sandwich, called an Uber from the sandwich spot, got to the train station, which is here. Got to the train station maybe 5 minutes before my train was leaving, ran onto the train. My phone is at 15% battery. I forgot to bring a charger. I'm alone in Italy. I make the train. We go back to Venice. Where's Venice? End up back at Venice, realize my train only got me this far, and I needed to get onto the island of Venice. My phone is dying. I'm tired and sick. It's been a very long, sad day. I figure out I could still just get a train just for the one stop over this bridge. I find our hotel from the train station, and I'm just done. This is maybe the longest day of my life. And it did get me sick. I was kind of sick the rest of the trip. And I'm still a little congested now. This was only 5 days ago? Yeah, this was last Sunday this happened. Oh, train rides look amazing. The train was great and convenient. The first time we went to the Milan train station was a little intimidating. It's a giant train station and it wasn't really obvious where to go. As soon as you do it once, when I came back there, like, I was like, I am making this train. I have 5 minutes to get on this train. I'm going to make it. And I made it. Sick as in flu with fever or cold? I just had I was just congested and had a cough. I think I was just, the Olympics, you're around, people are sick. I think I was just so run down from not sleeping and then traveling across Italy and back in one day on public transportation, screaming at a hockey game. My body was just so tired that I was just like, whatever kind of sickness is going around, I just felt a little sick. But I still got to enjoy. We stayed in Venice for one extra day before flying out on the Tuesday. And at this point, I hadn't really planned anything, which I think was the right call. Venice is a bit of a tourist trap, to be honest. But it's just such a beautiful and unique city that I think it's worth visiting at least once in your life. And it's not really about doing stuff. It's just about walking around, getting lost, navigating the city's just like a maze, you know? Pretty incredible. Now, I did happen upon one pretty amazing thing, which, here, let me see if I can pull up a picture of this. I think I posted this in Discord. I accidentally found the shop that made the Venetian masks for the film, Stanley Kubrick's final film, Eyes Wide Shut, which is why I want to watch that movie now. Now, I went inside, looked at masks. They ask people not to take pictures. And I don't even know the name of this place. And it was so cool. These masks are so amazing. And there was someone in there making the masks. And I sort of watched them do this for a little bit. And they didn't seem to mind. And, we left, just kept exploring Venice. And then we left the next morning. And almost immediately, I'm just mad at myself for just not... I don't know why I didn't buy a mask here. It gives me a reason to go back, but I almost want to figure out, is there a way... Could I send someone to Venice? If I know someone in Venice, I would ask them to go here and buy me a mask. I don't even know which one. Like, these are a little ornate. Maybe one of the red ones. Maybe I want to watch the movie. That'll help me pick a mask. Hey, you can send me? Yeah. Okay, accepting applications to be sent to Venice to buy me a mask. How was the coffee? Coffee in Italy was great. If you don't accidentally get served a glass of warm milk. Is this a sponsor trip? Send Matt. Matt wants to go more obscure places. He doesn't want to go to Venice, Italy. I think I know someone going to Venice soon. I might try to convince them. I might be like, hey, I'll buy you a mask if you get me a mask. I think that's the deal. I'm going to try to make this happen. Very cool. So, Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Movie's available on Crave in Canada. Recently, there was a 4K restoration on Criterion, but I don't know how to get that or see that. What are some places, countries you still want to visit? Good question. That's a long list. Greece has always been somewhere I've wanted to check out. That would be up there. Italy was great. I would love to go back not during the Olympics, so we could do more of Italy without having other things going on. I've never been to London, which feels just like such an easy trip to do. Like, why not just go to London for a couple days, have some tea, shake hands with the Queen, fly back, you know? Just a quick cheerio. Just need a bottle of water. Queen's dead, mate? Oh, forgot about that. Well, maybe I can still shake her hand. So yeah, Greece is up there, London's up there. I lived in Australia, as I think most of you know. So I've always wanted to get Christine out there. But that's a commitment. I feel like this was a big step to get Christine across an ocean. You know, to do that 8-hour flight, to travel, to realize everything's gonna be okay, that they have good food, there are clubs, there's shopping, there's history, there's cool buildings, there's good walks. You'd consider London for tea? I actually think there isn't much about London other than tea you'd be all that interested in, you know? Like, I don't actually know what... Like, there's some obvious landmarks. Maybe you'd take a little jog to Stonehenge. I think Christine and I have in common that we're not really... I can't spend, like, hours in an art gallery or hours doing historical tours. I think we're kind of more... Let's have unique experiences in places than... Tell me about this building that was built and why it's important. We did go to an art gallery in Milan, and I think we were both kind of just like, it's a lot of baby Jesus church imagery. And it's like, I get the point. Spain is beautiful. I've never been to Spain. Anyway, my I don't know why my throat's bothering me so much. I feel like I've like something stuck. But thank you for indulging me as I talked about food in Italy for an hour. I feel like I need maybe a couple days still to recover. A little vacation from my vacation. Don't really know what to do next on stream. Haven't played a new game in a while. Maybe that's the mood. Yeah, I need a honey lemon tea or something over here. But yeah, if you want to watch Eyes Wide Shut in 27 minutes, I'm gonna do that. And yeah, just thankful. Italy was cool. I know life has taken us in a lot of weird directions that I never would have expected. And just feel very fortunate and lucky we get to do cool shit. Final question, do you prefer Canadian or Italian cuisine? I prefer hummus.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling